We will be presenting on one of Photrek's proposals that we've submitted into Catalyst Fund 11 called Sociocratic DReps, a representation framework for democratic pluralism. I'm joined today with Joanna and Jose, and we will be talking a little bit more about our proposal. So the problem that we're really trying to tackle with this proposal is the DRep role brought up in SIP 1694. We believe it requires a wide range of skills that not only one individual can fulfill. And there's not yet a clear framework in place to define how that program will address the concern. So our solution is to provide the community with a framework for DReps, which will enable exceptional representation, starting with the three of us as a 3-person DRep team, and each of us creating subcircles with expertise in different areas ranging from governance, blockchain development, and DeFi, and many others, and sort of stemming from our experience as 3 instead of as 1 individual.
So the first mission of our community will be to create and oversee a team-managed DRep, but the ultimate goal is to create a flexible framework that can be easily adopted and adjusted by anyone that's looking to create a community-run DRep. And the goal, as Megan said, is to create something that's greater than the sum of its parts. And we have been actively studying, and we've been engaging in a course on sociocracy, all 3 of us here, but then even within Photrek, it's been what we've been adopting internally with our decision making and how we run our teams. And so we thought that it would be a good idea to start with a sociocratic DRep and to follow those sociocratic principles that are based on these 4 core functions. So organized by peer-to-peer circles, as Megan mentioned, there'll be subcircles, each with their own specific domain focus. But these circles are all interlinked. And this is to make sure that the information is correctly and seamlessly flowing at all times. And the decision-making is consent-based. So whenever a decision needs to be passed, everyone in all circles or in the subcircles need to reach consent. And finally, just always prioritizing a continuous feedback and improvement mechanism within all circles.
So the team is more than just the 3 of us, but I'll talk about the 3 of us first. We can come together with a shared passion for governance. All of us, as Joanna mentioned, have been involved in a sociocracy training over the past several months. We've all been very involved in SIP 1694 workshops all throughout the globe. Joanna has been very active in the MENA community, Jose in the LATAM community, and myself in the African WADA community. And each of us organized our own workshops throughout the process and have been very in tune with our community members and sort of came together with this passion of we each have communities that we feel are not being fully represented, and how can we come together to provide a solution to that? In addition to the 3 of us, we do have more of a technical team that's working with us because this project is more than just providing a solution, but also providing a technical backup in terms of white paper and other components. And Jose maybe can talk a little bit more about this point.
Yes, as you were just mentioning, it's not only about creating a sociocratic DRep per se, which is it has a value in itself because it's ultimately a tool to provide exceptional representation to the community by gathering the diversity of knowledge that many people can bring to the table that non-individuals could. So that has a value in itself. But it's also about bringing all the research that Photrek and Kenrick and Einstein and Eric do in their work. There's a lot of work and academic research, and all of that has to have a place to come into practice. So this DRep also will benefit from all of that research and adopting that methodologies and put them to the test and learning from them. And that should end up in a framework that we can replicate and offer to others that want to replicate the exercise and build their own DReps, of course, with their own tastes and flavors. So that's pretty much what we want to do. It's two fronts. So the DRep in itself, a collective DRep that provides exceptional representation, and the research practice and put it into reality and learn from it, and share that knowledge with the wider community for them to be able to adopt the framework that we want to build.
Exactly. And maybe I'll just emphasize like a little bit more that what we're creating, we hope can be replicated with other pieces inserted. So for example, us as a group coming together, we came around this idea of democratic pluralism and are using a lot of emphasis on the tools we've learned in sociocracy. But not everyone might find that that works for their community and may want to do what we're doing in terms of setting this up as a group, but add other components like consent, instead of consent, going with consensus or even majority voting. And what we're hoping to create is a framework where people can plug in the pieces that work for them and change the pieces that don't. And that's part of why we want this to be well documented, so that it's easy to just do that. Thank you so much for listening to us today. Please check out Photrek's other proposals. We have a total of 3 proposals this round focusing on governance. It is a big passion of ours, and we appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.